Welcome to the game of Risk, everyone. I'm your host, OliveXC, a top player at this game. And today, we are doing round 2 of the Risk 1v1 World Championships. And we are going up against Xerip, a top grandmaster with significant experience in 1v1s. We have 4 games on Supermax, 2 games on Classic Capitals. Let's do this. So looking here at game number 1, and you'll see this for all of Supermax games, Xerip and I are going to prioritize taking the corners of the maps first that don't have portals. This is because they are highly disconnected areas of the board. Once we take the corners, we then prioritize taking the legs of this bonus as well as the arms of this bonus. You'll then notice what I try to do is I try to take connections that are close by the portal, so I try to avoid spots like here, spots like here, spots like here, and that allows me to stay a little bit more disconnected. And then finally, you notice that because there is a center portal right here, as well as a blizzard spot located here, this gives the advantage to Xerip. This is because a center portal allows 2 bonuses that can be held easily. This top one, and then as well as the bottom one. And since the bottom one holds more troops, Xerip will be able to get additional troops over me per turn. He also did a really good job connecting me. And I'm forced to be in a situation where I place everything here trying to predict him, and he can counter me by placing here. Or I can just try to hold my bonus but just be kind of stuck because because of these locations I ended up having to take them. I end up trying to hold on to my bonus, but you can see I lose a 3v1. I'm trying to take over additional territory, but I'm unable to get to 28. So I take and hold my bonus, but I think I probably have a little bit too much there. I probably only needed to have like maybe 9. And now you can see Xerip is just going to be attacking all the territories around the board, getting near perfect dice on that roll. But he does lose a 3v1, which kind of evens it out. But with him now holding on to 2 bonuses, I now have to break everything to try to get an advantage. So I'm attacking as much as possible right now. And the dice are okay for me, not anything crazy at all. And I could attack one more time, but then Xerip will have a very favorable blitz attacking me, and then I won't be able to react accordingly to it. So Xerip is now just trying to take over additional bonuses, holding everything down, using his additional troops. And now you can see, because he has the extra mobility, he's able to hold on to those bonuses. He does fail the 3v1 up here again, but he's just playing this really well. Very impressed by his play, and now I'm only getting 10 per turn. So I try to take over the bonus in the upper right hand side as well as attacking a little bit more. But now you see I'm only holding 20 territories right now, so I'm just continuing to fall behind. Xerip is now getting 12 per turn. And you can also see he's getting favorable blitzes over me, allowing him to further get an advantage for himself. I now have only 14 territories, and I'm forced to kind of do a Hail Mary move right here. So the first thing that I do is I try to break the upper bonus with 2 dice, which is successful. And then I'm starting to try to roll Xerip down. And I actually get good dice. So now I try to break, and now I'm trying to break and split, but he has a 2 there, which I wasn't expecting, so I have to try to break, but I fail one of the rolls and I'm unable to do it. If I managed to take over that last roll, I would have actually had a huge advantage over Xerip, but at the end of the day, if I need crazy luck in order to get ahead, there's just not much that I am able to do here. Xerip is now owning 3 gates. I only have 14 territories. This is not enough for me to get ahead for myself. And after making a small number of attacks, I'll just speed ahead. Xerip is going to end up taking this game, and I am going to be behind 1-0. So moving on to game number 2, I am the second player in this game, and I actually am very happy with this setup. This is because the blizzards, they're located over here, these are non-impactful blizzards, where they're not blocking anything. And also look at the portals. All the portals are located inside of gates. There are no portals in the center, which can allow for excess mobility. And then finally, look at the one spot without a portal, the upper right-hand side. That's a very small gate, only giving a +5 bonus. And I know Xerip, he generally likes going for bigger bonuses, so this is a very favorable setup for me. So as I place down my final locations, you can see the only thing left is the center with the gate. And I have multiple spots I can potentially hide my army right now. I can hide in the bottom right. I can hide right here. I can also even potentially hide in this location. And because he's taking these specific gates, I can even hide right here. I have completely dominated Xerip in this setup. So I choose to place everything down here in the bottom right. I'm going to be able to get the attackers and blanchers on Xerip because he plays directly onto a blizzard or portal spot right here. And he's just trying to take over as much territory as possible on the board to get an advantage for himself. He also takes over this bonus because I am forced to break that as well. So let's do this. Let's see if we can get some good rolls on Xerip and potentially take this game. So as I go in for the attack and I hit the 3, I lose 5 troops. And then I attack him again and I lose an 85% roll. Guys, I was heartbroken when that happened. There was, unfortunately, nothing that I could have done there. It was just very, very unlucky when things like that occur. But dice like that happen. I can't break both bonuses. Xerip is going to be ahead 2-0. We just keep playing on. We know this is going to happen throughout the tournament. We'll get luck going our way as well. As we head into the game number 3, you'll notice that the big danger is in the left-hand side of the board. This is because if I were to take this gate, Xerip is able to hold on to this bonus guaranteed. If I were to take this portal gate, Xerip is able to hold on to this bonus. When portals are in the center, especially when they're in front, they can potentially give a person multiple options to go for. So as I place down my final territories, you can see Xerip is just doing a really good job here. I'm forced to kind of be connecting myself down through the middle of the board here because I'm trying to avoid taking either of these locations. But Xerip is forcing me to pick one. I take there because it's a little bit less isolated and avoids a huge connection. And I try doing something a little crafty, placing troops around because I'm just feeling like there's not much that I can do. I really should have just placed everything on the portal and just tried to take the stack blitz right there. Because now Xerip is just going to be able to hold everything and have a significant edge. So I'm forced to try to roll him right here. And, well, these are actually some pretty good dice. Really good dice. Wow, I actually managed to break that. That is very lucky for me. Very lucky. And I actually end up winning those extra dice rolls down. So Xerip is actually in a little bit of a hole right now. He only gets 5 troops. And I almost was able to get him down below. So he's attacking as much as possible right now to try to lower my count. But I'm still on 19 territories. However, Xerip has an extra 3 stack. And now he's made that a 5. So he still has the lead right now. I only have a very temporary lead with getting extra troops. I have to figure out how I want to get an edge for myself. So I try to roll him down. I lose 1, and I need to prioritize because if I lose another 2, I can be in a tough spot. So I managed to get myself in 22 and Xerip under 17, so he's only getting 5 troops. And I'm hoping it's a bad roll on my 3, and maybe I can stabilize. But you can see my strategy this game just was not good. Even with having a 20% roll to break down this original gate, even with that succeeding with very good dice, Xerip is still normalizing everything and even having a slight lead as a whole. But I do manage to get good dice on that turn, and I'm able to take over, again, being at 22, so Xerip only gets 5 territory troops. But he gets very good dice as well, taking over that gate. And now he's able to just fortify one of those troops over. I need perfect dice again, but I lose 2. And with that, Xerip now has the territory lead and he is going to be able to just take over additional territory for himself, put himself in a lead, make it so that I am ending off on 14 territories, and there's just not going to be much that I will be able to do here. With Xerip now getting 7 per turn, as you can see, he just attacks everywhere, ending off with 28 territories and me down on 11, and I'm forced to give up. And now he's ahead 3-0. I admit I'm a little bit flustered right now heading into the 4th game because he had 2 dominating wins and then 1 game where he just got very lucky over me. But I just have to keep this up. One thing you'll notice is in the upper right-hand corner, I take that portal spot very early because it's actually very isolated and it's not very impactful. So very unique. I never saw that in practice, but glad to be trying that out. You'll also notice that this game, the strategy is going to be either owning this area of the board or this area of the board. Very similar to what has been going on within Game 3. So as we go down to the final picks on the board, you can actually see I ended up taking all of the portal spots, but everything else is well open for me on the map. And I should just be single stacking down right here, but I decided to be tricky going in multiple spots. But Xerip single stack, so I have to blitz him. But I lose a 55% roll. You can see, even though like that roll was bad, I could have placed everything down, but the dice just went for Xerip again. Again, he's playing very well to give himself the maximum chance odds for success. All I can do is keep playing my best here, but Xerip is just continuing to build up an advantage, now attacking over multiple territories. I have to break and get perfect dice on him here to potentially have a chance to take this. So I roll him down, and do I manage to break the gate? I do, but I'm on 18 territories. He is on 24, so he is going to be getting 7 per turn. All he has to do now is attack as much territories on the board as possible in order to get a lead. With me only getting 4 per turn and him getting 7 to 8 per turn, he's just going to get a significant edge. I roll him down, but I managed to break the center, but it's too little, too late. Xerip managed to sweep me on Supermax. A little bit of luck went his way, but it's 4-0 to him, and I'm really proud of him for doing an excellent job. But going on to Classic, I feel like I have a bit of an edge on Xerip. Xerip, as you can tell, is a very predictable player. That's his greatest weakness, but also his strength is he doesn't make mistakes. That's why I know from doing some practice with other players that Xerip loves going for Australia and Siam. So what I focus on doing is taking Siam first, this specific territory, so Xerip places here. I then take North Africa. Xerip tries to counter by going for Brazil early on, but I take Madagascar, so that was a mistake by Xerip. Xerip also allows me to take Argentina and Peru, which are also very good picks. Xerip then tries taking the upper right-hand side of the board, as well as spots here within like a Europe. But that allows me, if I'm holding North Africa, to have good mobility to attack. He's trying to avoid taking these specific locations, as that will allow my North Africa to have even more mobility around the board. I prioritize taking these 3 spots here in a line, as this will prevent Xerip from being anywhere within the Australia area, as I know that's what he likes to do, and I'm trying to exploit his tendencies. So as we place everything down, I try to hold on to Australia, but I predict Xerip's spot, and now he is forced to cap down there to avoid me getting a really good stack hit on him. But since he left all of his troops up in a line, and you also notice all of my troops are connected, I just prioritize attacking as much as possible around the board to build up an advantage and then bring my 9 back onto my capital. I am on 28 territories, as Classic has 39. Xerip started with 11, so I have a huge territory lead over him. Xerip is now forced to break and to try to get really good dice, but I'm on 16 territories. I think Xerip could have attacked maybe a little bit more, but he doesn't want to open up my 14 to be able to hit him. So he's forced to stop here. So now my priority is to attack as much as possible around the map. And I do so getting pretty good dice. I make a mistake here attacking this territory. This is bad because I'm allowing the 13 to have access all over the map. What I should have done is not attack there and just had my capital go in and attack. So now you can see Xerip is attacking as much as possible around the board to lower my territory count as much as possible. But he gets his stack a little bit too weak because he had a little bit of bad dice, and that's going to allow me to go in for the attack. And I get an 88% roll, and I do manage to win it. And I decide to go back onto my capital here because I have a 3 here ready to attack if he chooses to attack there. And I also hold Australia. But you can see, even if he takes this over, I would just take over the next turn. So I managed to finally get a win on Xerip, going behind like a 1-4. Moving into the last game, there's one impactful blizzard here on Africa. But I told you, Xerip is very predictable. He always goes for that spot first. You can see the better location is South America and North America. South America because it is a 1-point hold right here. And then North America potentially be a 2-continental hold. I also take this specific territory early as it's very isolated, not needed for pathing. I think that was potentially a small miss from Xerip. I then make a mistake though. I should have taken this specific territory rather than Egypt. And this is because Western Europe is not needed for pathing. Egypt is needed for pathing. And now you can see Xerip is just taking more of this corner of the map. And that is even more impactful because, again, North Africa is blocked. He's also succeeded in taking over a large amount of Australia. Here I make another mistake as well. I should have taken the Brazil territory. Since I failed taking Brazil, he now has 3 in South America, 3 in Australia, a good corner here in Europe. He's just kind of gotten me, and this is going to probably force me to connect myself in the middle of the board. So on my final picks, I'm trying to avoid taking on these specific territories as I want to try to have a line for myself to take things within the North America, South America area of the board. But Xerip manages to connect me everywhere because, again, the mistakes that I was making here, here, and here. Xerip played this well. And Xerip, recognizing the impactfulness of the North Africa territory being a blizzard, he can hold the Africa bonus with a 2-point hold. And that's what he tries to do here. So he takes over the Australia bonus, but you'll notice yet now he's defending it, and he has an 11 and a 10 guarding. So I could try to blitz that right there to get the attacker's advantage, but I instead notice I can just take his capital instead. And it is successful. He loses a lot of troops there. Now, I do make one mistake. I should have attacked Kamchatka here instead of the other territories, because then it would have been a little bit harder for him to reach me and to break me. I then placed my rest of my troops here. Xerip, though, will need perfect dice in order to break me in South America. Will he be able to do it? No way. Is he actually going to be able to do it? He didn't lose a single troop so far, and he broke me. Well, an 8v6 is unlikely. That's a 30% roll. Let's see if he does this. I lose 2. He loses 3. Does he lose a 4v4? He got perfect dice, and he won the 8v6 roll. Xerip just got very, very lucky here. I feel like I outplayed him because he was being way too risky, and I made a very good calculated risk on him as a whole. I'm now forced to break Africa because otherwise he's going to be getting too many troops, and I'm just going to be in a tough spot. So I just prioritize breaking as much as possible and going back on capital, but because Xerip had a good move with him getting 12 and me 5, there's not much that he can do, or I can do, really. But he makes a bit of a mistake here. He just over-attacks. What he should be doing is putting as many troops on capital right now and just holding on to his lead. But instead, he allows me to go for a cap roll. So I go for the 7v8. Do I get it? 30%. One more good roll and I can take it. 20%. And I can't get it. So I'm going to lose this game and the series 5-1. Xerip played amazing. He had a couple of games with some good luck, but his wins were very solid. Tune in next week for week 3 to see if I can recover. This is OliveXC signing off.